If you're a child of the 90s, the Power Rangers very likely has a very sentimental part of your heart, okay? When I was growing up, yeah, it was very much the Power Rangers, the originals. I have no idea what the hell that is, okay? That looks absolutely insane, but it was that, and it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Gargoyles on, you had Animaniacs. Like, it was a really primo time. I don't know what kids have in today's day and age, and if I was to take a look at the stuff that was out there, I'd probably just shake my head in embarrassment and just show them all of the good stuff that we used to have back in the cut, and they would be amazed by it, generally speaking. But it's kind of funny, right? Because I was thinking about this, okay? I was thinking about the Power Rangers movies. Anybody remember that? Ivan Ooze that was out there, and Zordon almost dying or something like that. Like, I really got to go back. It was something that I watched a lot. I'm pretty sure we went to the theaters, definitely had the VHS for it, but especially in contrast with the Minecraft movie that came out, and all of the people saying, oh, why do you care about that? It's just a movie for kids. And I'm just wondering, because I can also remember the stuff that I was watching as a kid, and the stuff that resonates with me and really wanted to drive me to be excited for the future, to just see where cinema and storytelling could really evolve, like all the Disney Renaissance stuff, Pixar's early output, on top of, the stuff that I was watching, that probably wasn't age appropriate for me, that had a lasting impression on me. Tombstone, R.I.P. Val Kilmer, obviously. Then working up to, a little bit later in my childhood, but still 11, 12, and 13 years old when Lord of the Rings was coming out. The common through line with that, they're all incredibly well-made films with good characters, great plotting, and stand the test of time. So yeah, just thinking back to, what was I excited for? What was I watching? I really needed to see, and I was thinking if the Power Rangers movie stood the test of time, because that's about the strongest comparison that I could make, because the first TMNT movie, okay, 89, it came out a little bit before my time, but watching it in the aftermath, like, it's still a decent film. And even if you wanted to depart from that format, just going back and watching those old cartoons and then watching the original Power Rangers run, like, it was never really complex shit, but it showed, the importance of teamwork. It had good, strong moral messaging, and yeah, it was made to just shill a bunch of toys, and yeah, it definitely did. I had the old Megazord, White Rangers. I had a scimitar, okay, with the talking little gimmick on the on the hilt, but you could just flip it over and he was there. I also had the Green Rangers, little dagger flute thing. Had all of that crap because the shit was incredibly formative and incredibly impactful. And so to see Disney developing the Power Ranger series for Disney Plus that will reinvent the franchise, I mean, guys, Jesus Christ. Like, I know it's been carrying on in different iterations, and it wasn't that long ago. I think it got recommended to me, like a 20-minute long compilation of all of the different theme songs that the show has had throughout the years with its different permutations and Dino Quest, Samurais, and Turbo, and all of it looks totally and completely unrecognizable, but the one common through line is that bitchin' theme song. I don't think that there's a show out there that can go toe to toe with the iconic nature of that guitar lead from the Power Rangers TV show. You know the one that I'm talking about. I'd play it, but, copyright and all that shit, and especially if Disney has their hands on it, yeah, it's a wrap on this. So, yeah, the Walt Disney Company is reportedly developing a new Power Ranger series for its streaming service, D+. A report from Humberto Gonzalez at The Wrap, claims the showrunners, Jonathan Steinberg, of course, and Dan Schatz are in negotiations to write, showrun, and produce a live-action Power Rangers series for D+, and 20th Century TV. Hasbro, who owns the Power Rangers franchise, will produce the series as well, and yeah, you're going to end up getting, because I think the last thing that I seen is that the Red Ranger is now a girl, because I guess we can't have a Pink Ranger, and the Yellow Ranger is the black guy, and there hasn't been a Blue Ranger for a minute, but yeah, there you go. You got most of the original cat. That looks like it's in, the base there, and you got the change. My friend Jared, way back in the day, that's a throwback, but he had the changer that had the different coins that you could put in the front of it, and those were really sweet. I'm just reminiscing at this point in time. But there was a charm to it. There was a charm to this show, and to hear Disney's going to have its grubby little hands on it, I know it's just going to be a total disaster. Hence why I guess this is a story that's going to be a running around, okay, because you got the Black Power Ranger, because if you remember that first run, like, that shit was based as hell, okay, because you had, what's his name, Jason Arnold Taylor? Is that the name? the Red Ranger, because yeah, you had the Red Ranger, and you had Billy the Blue Ranger, and he's just the dorky, geeky guy, and then you had the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, okay, and then you had what's her name, Trinity, Asian chick is the Yellow Ranger, and then of course you had Zach the Black Ranger, the black guy. And yeah, looking back, it's like, that's hilarious. What are you guys trying to say about that? What'd you mean about that one? When it was all said and done, once everybody got all suited up, it was just a cutaway to the Saban produced Japanese series, and they were all Japanese after that, so realistically, you just needed people to play off a Bulk and Skull and the rest of it. So hell, the chick who played Rita Repulsa couldn't even speak a fucking word of English, and everything that she did was ADR. So hey man, whatever. But yes, this is making the rounds once again, which yeah, okay, now that Disney's going to be working on a new project, that kind of makes a lot of sense why this is a story once again. Okay, the Black Power Ranger controversy ignites Hollywood media spin, but the original actor isn't having it. Yeah, exactly, because well, he's kind of based. The mainstream media has once again launched into a retro TV moment, yes, and turned it into something it was never meant to be, this time targeting the 90s kids action show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, specifically the casting decisions made over 30 years ago. According to the headlines and making the rounds this week, the show's head writer Tony Oliver confessed that it was a mistake to cast a black actor as the Black Ranger and an Asian actress as the Yellow Ranger. Oh, shut up. Oliver's comments come from a new investigation Discovery series. Oh, interesting. Hollywood Demons, where he claims none of us were thinking stereotypes. Wow, exactly. It was almost like you were casting people that you wanted to put into the show, and you weren't, using these very racist DEI boxes as hiring practices. But now that you're seeing things through a modern lens, now you're just retroactively affixing a racist narrative to something really didn't exist before. It's funny how all of that shit that is going around in today's day and age gets uncovered and exposed for what it is when you compare and contrast it when all of this shit basically didn't exist. Because what else was, going on? What would normally be the lead in, okay, or the show that would benefit from the audience of kids watching the Power Rangers? What would come on right after that? All right, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And what would everybody watch, on TGIF? What was one of the anchor shows of that block of television? All right, Family Matters. Oh yeah, but no, everybody was racist because the Black Ranger was black. Right. None of us were thinking stereotypes and didn't realize the potential for controversy until an assistant pointed it out much later. It was such a mistake, he added, sparking an avalanche of editorial takes, social media chatter, and surface level hot takes. Yeah, exactly. Hiring a black guy, that's controversial. Racist. What most of the outlets conveniently left out, however, was the perspective of the actual actor at the center of the so-called controversy, Walter Emanuel Jones, the original Black Ranger himself. Posting to Instagram, Jones addressed the renewed media focus head-on Black Ranger care of people. Okay, People magazine. Power Rangers writer admits casting black and Asian actors as Black Ranger and Yellow Ranger was such a mistake. Yeah, but what does Zach have to say? Incredible how many media outlets picked this up. However, while some chose to seek out the negative, I believed in focusing on the positive. I understand the impulse to address what might have been seen as cultural insensitivity, but calling it a mistake would dismiss the impact it had on countless people around the world who found inspiration and representation in TV's first black superhero. I don't even know if that's the case, but okay. Morphin into none other than the Black Power Ranger. And it wasn't a mistake. It was a milestone. It was an honor. Swipe to hear me, yeah, and all that stuff. I've also seen something about how him and the original Red Ranger doing a show, and they addressed how they didn't want to be a part of anything, the Power Rangers moving forward because something or some crap behind the scenes. I'm not going to get into it because, well, I don't have my references pulled up. But yes, in one statement, Jones managed to dismantle the entire narrative being pushed, far from feeling misrepresented or sidelined. He viewed his role as historic, and he's right. Yeah, for a generation of kids, Zach Taylor wasn't just a Ranger, he was the Ranger. He has the swagger, the energy, the cool factor, and most importantly, Jones was right. He was the first black superhero for many 90s kids ever saw on the screen. I'm trying to think. There were probably other animated depictions, but maybe live action? Yeah, it's possible. Okay, I'd really have to think otherwise. And yeah, his axe, that was the coolest shit ever. I forget what did the Blue Ranger have? It's something queer, but the axe was that was badass. Pink Ranger definitely had a bow. I think the Yellow Ranger had nunchucks or a throwing star. Joking. Not to mention, yes, Trini Kwan, the Yellow Ranger of the show. It's worth noting that the original actress was, yes, cast as Yellow Ranger. Audrey Dubois was not Asian. Oh, okay. She was originally cast for the pilot, but left over a contract dispute. The role was recast with Tai Trang, a Vietnamese actress, who later edited into existing footage. In short, the casting of an Asian actress wasn't planned. It happened as a result of behind-the-scenes changes. Trang embodied, the peaceful conscience of the group, as the team was seeking not a demographic checkbox. Yeah, exactly, because all of the Rangers, guess what? They all brought different aspects to the team, different strengths and weaknesses, and the way that they would overcome the monster of the week sent down by Goldar and Rita Repulsa was because they had the ability to work together. That was the overall message of the Power Rangers. It wasn't who was in the team. It's that they were a team. Now that I see Disney get their hands on this, it's all going to be about the individuals, and the team at the end of the day really isn't going to much matter. It's going to be about who you are and how stunning and brave an all-female Power Rangers team is going to be. It's going to be so great. But yeah, shout out to Walt. He gets it, and he got it, and he's grateful for, unironically being one of the coolest dudes ever. And, in the Power Rangers fighting game, the Black Ranger was fucking badass. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.